What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, StephenMotivate. And today we want to talk about, is your money safe? Is your money safe? That's the question. And we're going to get into it. We've got 3 different things you need to be watching out for to make sure your money is and stays safe. So before we get into it, look, if you are enjoying our channel and you want to learn more, please subscribe, like, comment. We want to hear from you. All right. So today, the whole point of this is identity theft is such a huge thing. Just in 2024, there have been several data breaches, and we're just getting into 2025. Who knows how many data breaches that we'll see this year? One big one last year was AT&T. All my phones are with AT&T. I've been with AT&T since I was like 16 years old, before it was AT&T, back when it was Cellular One. And they had a data breach in 2024. What do you think identity thieves and hackers are doing with that information? Well, they're trying to steal your money, and you've got to be careful. And there are 3 things I want you to pay attention to. Number 1, business impersonations. What is that? That's when folks are pretending to be a business that you likely interact with or work with on a regular basis, and they're pretending to be that business, or they're impersonating that business in order to get money from you. When you deal with that, you've got to be very cautious of emails, of communications that you did not initiate. I've been with AT&T a long time, right? Very rarely has AT&T reached out to me and said, hey, Stephen, you need to deal with this right away. Please call this number, or please pick up the phone. We're about to call you. They rarely do that, right? They usually go through some sort of official means of communication, either by mail, where it's got their letterhead or stuff on it, sometimes by email. But if it's by email, you have to be careful, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the whole point is that in terms of business impersonations, identity thieves want to act like they're this big business that you do business with. And when you start to interact with something that you did not initiate, you've got to be very careful, because that's when you can actually get your identity stolen. And once they have your identity, then they can affect your money. And this is why I always talk about, leave something. And when I talk about leave something, when I deal with my 5-part framework, I am basically telling you, you've got to protect yourself. You've got to protect you and your family's legacy. But it's not going to be enough to have insurance and to do those things. You also have to use good common sense as it relates to not interacting with everyone who wants to interact with you, even if they appear to be a business that you've worked with before in the past. So business impersonations are a big one. You want to watch out for any Amazon, AT&T, all these big companies, and all of a sudden they're saying, hey, contact us right away. You've got an overdue bill. Contact you right away? I've got an overdue bill? Question it in your mind before you click the link, before you say, oh, I've got to address this. I've got to stay on top of all my bills. Well, just wait a second. Don't you typically pay your bill? Don't you typically stay on top of these things? So why would this case be different? It's probably a business impersonation, and you've got to be very careful of that, because identity thieves will reach out to you and they'll try to get your information from you. If you're not careful, you'll accidentally give it away before you know it, and you'll be leaving your money at risk. Okay, so that's number 1, business impersonations. Number 2, your social media account is not just your profile online. It's actually a gold mine for hackers looking to take over and destroy and disrupt your life. Yes, people being used by the devil to cause you harm and evil. These social media hackers, they have no regards. And you've got to be careful of what they call in the identity theft community, social media takeovers. So, for instance, you're working with someone, and I know this has happened to many, many people. You're working with someone, right? And you're used to messaging them back and forth on let's say Instagram or Facebook Messenger, etc. And all of a sudden, they're messaging you from another account. Hey, how's it going? Or someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Hey, but their profile looks the same, da 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 da. You got to be very cautious of just reaching out and communicating with someone you haven't spoken to in a long while. And so social media is a great place for you to reconnect with, people you went to high school with and all that, or your friend that you grew up with in your neighborhood down the street. But you've got to be careful because hackers and identity thieves will use this as an opportunity to get money from you, or even worse, put you in a position where you're actually taking money from people and you don't even know it. So this is very, very, very common for hackers to use social media in this way. And so account takeovers, what's some common ones that you got to be on the lookout for? One is support groups. So let's say you deal with YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Google, and all of a sudden their support team or their customer care team is reaching out to you, and they want you to correspond with them and yada, yada, yada. Be very cautious of that, because many times the hackers are pretending to be a support group or a customer service team, and all they're trying to do is steal your information. Hey, what's your name? And they're good too. They're really good. All right, give us your password. All right, give us your name. All right, da 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 da. And even be more cautious of getting on the phone with folks, because they now with AI can take your voice and can approve things, and you're saying yes to things that they're going to actually record that and then reuse it and make it sound like you. So you've got to be cautious, because people are out to take your money. And if you're using social media and you haven't asked for any support, or you didn't initiate the conversation, again, I go back to that. Did you initiate this? Or did this somehow randomly come to you? Or was it just an email sitting in your inbox? Or just, oh, I didn't notice this. Well, maybe you didn't notice it for a reason. And so you've got to be very cautious of social media account takeovers. And I'll tell you one that's happened to us, actually. So a business partner of mine, an old friend to him, reached out. They know we're in the car business. We have cars on tour, all that sort of thing. And so they came with a fantastic deal. I think it was a Honda Accord, very low miles, for about $3,500. This was the story. They had a grandparent who had just died. They knew my business partner from way back in the day. The business partner knew this person was a good guy. I hadn't talked to him in years, so it was good to hear from him, yada, yada, yada. And hey, got a grandparent just died. I have a car here, $3,500. It's a really good car. We don't have any use for it. Maybe you'd like it because I know you're in the car business. Oh, yeah, da, 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 da. Sounds good. Love to see it. Send me pictures. They send pictures. They do all the deal. Seems like a great opportunity. Seems too good to be true. And so everything's good. They're going to actually get us the car very soon. All they need, and this is where you got to be careful, all they need is $1,000 deposit just to show that we're serious. You don't want to lose out on a $3,500 car, a brand new car for $3,500. Oh, I'm only doing this because we're friends and I know you're a good person and da 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 da. So you guessed it. My business partner sent them $1,000. Well, about 30 minutes later, never heard from the person again. Come to find out, it wasn't a real person. The profile was fake. It wasn't their friend actually communicating with them. Whether someone had actually died or not, I'm not sure. But you've got to be careful when there's tragedy, when there's certain situations going on. Hackers will use those situations where you're in a moment of grief, you're in a moment of confusion, you're feeling sorry for people, you got sympathy, and automatically you're making decisions without going through your normal steps and your normal checks and processes that you would to say, wait, does this even make sense? And you can kind of get caught off guard. And it doesn't matter if you're young or old, college educated or not, it really is just, all of us can become vulnerable at times to hackers, and we've got to be extra, extra careful when people are reaching out to you and you haven't talked to them in a long time, and it's like, hey, this seems like a good idea. Be extra cautious on those type of situations. And not only will you be happy, your money will be happy. I would have been happy. I would have saved $1,000. Can you believe that? Lost $1,000 to one of these hackers. So I'm telling you this so you don't have to go through it. All right, last point, number 3. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus as well. You need to be skeptical of all digital communication. Be skeptical of all digital communication. And what do I mean by that? Let's say you get an email. Why are they emailing me? And here's a tip and a trick you can use. There's a thing called phishing emails, and it's spelled Phishing. Phishing emails, they'll come across, and let's say it's PayPal. It'll look like PayPal. It'll say PayPal. But if you click on the from button, who is this email from? You click on it and you see it. All of a sudden, you see the PayPal email says paypal.com.l.g.q.s. You're like, why would they have such a crazy email like that? It's because it's a fake email. It's a phishing email. They're phishing for information from you, and they're acting as if they're someone else. And they're pretty sure that most people do not click the actual from button. So you know how when you get an email, it can say a name up there, but have you ever clicked the name to make sure that the person that it says, actually the email that follows behind that actually makes sense? And so this is why you have to be skeptical of all digital communication. And what's some tips you can do? You can actually, okay, you email me, let me call you. Let me see if I can actually call PayPal. Surely if they sent me an email, they would know it, right? So you want to double check and double verify. And so sometimes when you're dealing with digital communications and logging into sites, they have what they call two-step verification or two-way authentication. So, okay, you're getting into this website, but let's just make sure it's you. Let's send you a text message. Let's actually make sure you log into the site. Let's do some things. And so you can take that same concept, and when you're being skeptical of information coming into you, you can say, all right, that's fine. Let me just double verify that what I'm doing here makes sense and that it actually is me and my bank or my funding source. I'm actually talking to the right person. And sometimes the best thing is if you're skeptical enough, just don't do anything. Let's say you owe $1 million bill. Oh, you owe X amount and you got to pay today or we're going to shut your lights off. All right. Let's just see what happens. Just wait a bit. See, let tomorrow come and let's see if all your lights go out or if your internet shuts down or if the TV goes off or if some of these requests that are so urgent, that's a key. Whenever it's super, super urgent, this is also good for Christians too. If you're a Christian person and you feel this urge and I've got to do it right now, probably a good sign that you don't need to do it. It's probably a temptation. It's probably something that's actually wrong for you to do. And the more you feel an urge, like, oh, I just got to do it now, don't do it. Actually use that as a sign that, all right, I'll just wait a day. Let me see. Because anytime anyone, whether natural or spiritual, is trying to rush you into doing something, there's probably something sketchy going on there. So you want to be skeptical of all digital communications, right? And so that's your third way of making sure you protect your money in a world where identity theft is running rampant. Okay, so I hope that helps you. And if you stuck around this long in the video, you deserve a bonus. You deserve a bonus tip. And so my bonus for you is this. If you're concerned about protecting your money in this digital world, my number one advice for you is don't click the link. Do not click the link. That's it. Don't click the link. It's that simple. You're going to get things sent to you through text, through email, all these different digital ways. And you're like, here, verify your order. Here, you've got a package and we can't seem to find it. Click this link. Be skeptical. Don't click the link. And you'll be glad that you didn't, because many times, like I've been saying, all of this sort of push to communicate with you is really fraud. And what you can do on your own is go to the place. God forbid we actually go and get in front of UPS and the post office. Hey, I just got this link and it says that there's a package waiting for me. Yeah, just wait. And if you can't do it right then, just wait till you can do it. The world is not going to end if you don't get the package you've been waiting for. If the dress you ordered doesn't come in, you'd be better off missing out on that dress than clicking that link and giving away all your business, your credit card information. You don't know what people can put in these links. So be cautious. And my number one piece of advice is do not click the link. Look, if you do this, if you follow what I talked to you about in this video, you'll be better set up to protect your money and your time. You do not want to go through the headache of dealing with identity thieves. There are some different products out there that you can use. I'm not sponsored by anybody right now, so I'm not going to tell you which ones you can use. I do use a few. I do use Identity IQ. I use some LastPass. I do things to protect different things, but do your own research and protect your information. And do not share it with anyone without knowing for sure that they're a person that you trust and you know is going to be responsible with the information. Look, I hope that helps you as much as this helped me. I learned my lesson. I'll never, ever, and it wasn't even me, but it was a partner of mine. I learned my lesson. We'll never, ever be such in a rush to get a good deal that we end up giving away $1,000 and getting nothing for it. So be careful out there. Be safe. And as always, stay motivated. Protect your money. You'll be glad you did. It's your boy, StephenMotivate. Until next time, peace.